comes to mind when you think of Europe? Paris with its croissants, Rome with its ruins, maybe Berlin with its techno beats. But let me let you in on a secret. There's a country sitting quietly at the crossroads of Europe and Asia that has all the charm, all the history, and none of the tourist trap fatigue. That place is Bulgaria. Now, Bulgaria is not the kind of destination that shouts for attention. It's more like that cool friend who doesn't say much but somehow has the wildest stories once you actually listen. And if you give this country a chance, you'll find yourself standing on a mountain peak one day, wandering a medieval town the next, and probably dancing on a beach at sunrise, wondering how you got there. It's layered, it's unexpected, and honestly, it's ridiculously underrated. Sofia, a capital with a split personality. Let's start in Sofia, the capital. Imagine a city where one street takes you past Roman ruins, another leads you to an Ottoman mosque, and right around the corner there's a cathedral that looks like it could star in its own fantasy movie. That's Sofia, always surprising you. The Alexander Nevsky Cathedral is the show-off here. Its golden domes basically scream, "Take my picture," and inside the air is thick with candle smoke and quiet reverence. But walk a few blocks and you'll stumble on Roman walls poking up beneath glass walkways, like a reminder that this city has been busy for a couple thousand years. But Sofia isn't a museum pretending to be a city. It's lively, messy, and modern. Sidewalk cafes are always buzzing, markets overflow with fresh produce, and students spill out of bookshops and bars in equal measure. And the best part? While you're sipping your coffee, you can glance up and see Mount Vitosha looming over the skyline like a giant bodyguard saying, "Yeah, the wilderness is just 10 minutes away." Vitosha, the mountain next door. Not every capital city in the world can casually flex that it has its very own mountain sitting right in the backyard. Sofia can, and it does it without breaking a sweat. Vitosha isn't just a mountain. It's like the city's personal escape button. One moment you're caught up in traffic, the next you're surrounded by pine trees and fresh air so crisp it feels like it could clean out your lungs. In the summer, Vitosha is all wildflower meadows, hidden waterfalls, and trails that make you forget you were in a busy city just an hour ago. It's the kind of place where you can sprawl out in the grass, stare at the sky, and pretend you're starring in some artsy indie film that nobody understands, but everyone claps for at festivals. Come winter, the whole place flips into snow mode. Slopes get busy, ski lifts start buzzing, and Sofia locals trade their office shoes for ski boots like it's no big deal. Imagine clocking out from work, grabbing your gear, and being on a ski slope before you've even decided what's for dinner. Not many cities on Earth can top that. And then there's Cherny Vrah, the highest peak of Vitosha. The climb up isn't brutal, but the reward is massive. From the top, you get panoramic views that stretch endlessly, rolling across Sofia, the Balkan Mountains, and even into neighboring countries if the weather's being kind. It's the kind of view that makes you realize just how small your problems really are. And let's be honest, food tastes different up there. That slightly squished sandwich you regretted packing suddenly feels like a gourmet picnic. It's proof that the best seasoning is altitude and effort. Rila Monastery, Bulgaria's spiritual fortress. Drive a bit south and you'll reach the Rila Mountains, home to one of Bulgaria's most beloved treasures, Rila Monastery. And trust me, monastery doesn't even begin to cover it. This place is part fortress, part spiritual retreat, part open-air art gallery. Founded in the 10th century, it has stood for more than 1,000 years, guarding not just faith but also national identity. When you walk through its gates, the striped arches and colourful frescoes hit you instantly. The walls are alive with saints, angels, and biblical dramas that look more like a medieval comic book than dry theology. It's vibrant, it's intense, and it's unforgettable. And it's not just about beauty. During the Ottoman period, this monastery was the keeper of Bulgarian culture. The monks preserved manuscripts, literature, and traditions when the outside world threatened to erase them. Step inside, and you're not just entering a religious space, you're stepping into the heart of Bulgarian resilience. The Rose Valley, a fragrant obsession. If Rila is Bulgaria's spiritual heart, then the Rose Valley is most definitely its perfume. Tucked between mountain ranges, this valley produces the majority of the world's rose oil, the same magical ingredient that ends up in luxury perfumes with price tags that make your wallet cry. And here's the wild part. Rose oil isn't just expensive, it's literally worth more than gold by weight. Forget stock markets. Imagine trading roses like precious metals. Every June, the valley bursts to life in a way that feels almost cinematic. Whole towns wake up before dawn, because that's when the flowers release their richest scent. Locals in traditional costumes head into the fields, baskets in hand, plucking the delicate pink blossoms, while the morning light turns everything into gold. Musicians play, dancers twirl, and suddenly you're in the middle of a festival that smells better than any spa on earth. It's like nature threw a party and made roses the guest of honor. And the best part? This isn't just for show. The petals are quickly distilled into rose oil, a liquid so concentrated that a single drop can carry the fragrance of thousands of flowers. It's one of those rare cases where tradition, agriculture, and global luxury intersect in the most unexpected way. Oh, and if you've never had rose jam, prepare yourself. Spread it on a piece of bread, and you'll feel like you're eating a flower garden, sweet, delicate, and slightly surreal. It's breakfast that doubles as a poetry experience. This is the Bulgaria most tourists don't expect to find. Rustic, fragrant, deeply tied to the land, yet with a global reach because chances are the perfume sitting on your shelf right now has roots in these very fields. Sunny beach, where sleep goes to die. Now, let's take a sharp turn, because for every peaceful monastery and fragrant valley, Bulgaria also has sunny beach. Imagine 8 kilometers of sand, lined with hotels, beach bars, and nightclubs that don't really understand the concept of closing time. During the day, it's family-friendly. Shallow waters, jet skis buzzing across the horizon, volleyball games breaking out spontaneously. But at night, it's neon, music, and an endless invitation to lose track of time. Sunny Beach is basically that one cousin who swears they'll take you out for just one drink, and somehow you wake up at sunrise with glitter in your hair and no idea where your shoes went. And if the chaos is too much, don't worry, because just down the road lies a very different vibe. Nessebar, the pearl of the Black Sea. Nessebar is like Sunny Beach's older, wiser sibling. Perched on a rocky peninsula, this UNESCO World Heritage Site is a living museum. Cobblestone streets, wooden houses that creak with age, and Byzantine churches that look like they've been pulled straight out of a history book. At one point, there were more than 40 churches crammed into this tiny town, and many still stand today. But Nessebar isn't frozen in time. You'll find seafood restaurants serving the catch of the day, boutiques tucked into centuries-old buildings, and families strolling along the harbour as fishing boats rock gently in the water. It's romantic, it's historical, and it's the perfect antidote to Sunny Beach's sleep when you're dead vibe. Plovdiv, a city older than time. If Sofia is Bulgaria's flashy capital, Plovdiv is its soulful storyteller. It's one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in Europe, over 6,000 years of history layered into its streets. And it shows. The Roman theatre is still in use today, hosting concerts under the stars, just like it did 2 millennia ago. The old town is a maze of cobbled streets and Renaissance houses painted in bright colours, each with ornate wooden balconies leaning dramatically over the lanes. And then there's Kapana, the creative district, full of art galleries, street murals, and cafes, where young artists sip coffee and plot revolutions, or at least their next exhibit. Plovdiv has a vibe that's hard to pin down. It's ancient, it's hip, and it somehow makes those two things work together seamlessly. Walk its streets, and you don't just see history, you feel like part of it. Bansko and the Pirin Mountains, 4 seasons of adventure. Head into the Pirin Mountains and you'll hit Bansko, Bulgaria's premier ski resort. In winter, it's all slopes, ski lifts, and après-ski chalets. But here's the thing. Bansko isn't a one-season wonder. In summer, those same mountains open up to reveal hiking trails, glacial lakes, and meadows that feel like nature's version of a spa day. Pirin National Park is even a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and if you hike far enough, you'll stumble upon landscapes that look like they belong in a fantasy novel. The town itself is charming too. Stone houses, cobbled streets, and the annual jazz festival that turns Bansko into one massive open-air stage. Skiing, hiking, music, this place really does it all. The stone forest, nature gets weird. Just when you think Bulgaria can't surprise you anymore, it throws the stone forest your way. Picture this. In the middle of a sandy plain near Varna, stone pillars rise up like ancient petrified trees. Some are hollow, some look like strange sculptures, and geologists have been arguing for decades about how they formed. Of course, the locals have their own theories: giants, gods, ancient civilizations. Honestly, walking among those eerie columns as the wind whistles through feels like stepping into a sci-fi film. It's weird, it's wonderful, and it's exactly the kind of curveball that makes Bulgaria unforgettable. Varna, the sea capital. Since we're already near Varna, let's talk about this coastal gem. Known as the sea capital, Varna has everything: beaches, nightlife, history, and a vibe that feels a little more polished than sunny beach. The Sea Garden is the city's pride, a sprawling park along the waterfront where locals stroll, kids play, and street performers keep things lively. But the real showstopper is in the museum, the Varna Gold Treasure. This isn't just any jewellery, it's the oldest processed gold in the world, dating back more than 6,000 years. Yes, while the Egyptians were still figuring out how to build pyramids, people in Varna were already accessorizing. Talk about being ahead of the curve. Shipka, where heroes stood. Finally, let's head into the Balkan Mountains to Shipka, where history and patriotism collide. On top of Shipka Peak stands a massive stone tower, guarded by a bronze lion, commemorating the battles of the Russo-Turkish War. Inside, relics from those fights bring the past alive: uniforms, weapons, and stories of resilience. Climb to the observation platform, and you get a view that stretches endlessly across the mountains. Stand there long enough, and it's easy to imagine the fierce battles fought on those slopes, the sacrifices made, and the freedom won. Every year, Bulgarians gather here to remember, turning the monument into not just a piece of history, but a living symbol of pride. So, what is Bulgaria? It's a country of contradictions in the best possible way, a place where one moment you're lost in the silence of a monastery, the next you're partying on a beach, and the next you're hiking through alpine meadows wondering if you've stumbled into a postcard. It's roses and rivers, ancient gold and modern art, soulful towns and chaotic resorts. It's Europe, but with its own flavour. Less polished, more authentic, and endlessly surprising. And here's the thing, Bulgaria doesn't try to impress you. It just is what it is, which makes it even more impressive. If this journey through Bulgaria got you curious, don't stop here. Dive deeper, explore more, and when you're ready for the real adventure, pack your bags. And hey, if you enjoyed this trip, stick around, subscribe, and share this with someone who's ready to discover the places that don't always make the front page, but absolutely should.